The first chapter of CBSE Qstn Social Science History section, The Rise of Nationalism in Europe, will explain paragraph-wise with important questions. Today we'll explain first part in this video, and you watch all the parts in order to understand the chapter such a way that you can reply any question from this chapter throw at you without slight or without any hesitation and can achieve higher marks. Let's start today's topic, the rise of nationalism in Europe, part 1. Now, first of all, in order to understand the situation or the scenario of revolution and nationalism, we have to know the scenario of Europe in 19th century. What was the condition of Europe during 19th century? During this period, nationalism emerged as a force which brought about sweeping changes in the political and mental world of Europe and resulted in the emergence of the nation state. This particular term, nation state, the question arises in our mind, what is nation state? A nation state was one in which the majority of the citizens and not only its rulers came to develop a sense of common identity. What is this common identity and how it develops? The next step of the question. The common identity developed through the struggle. This struggle through the actions of the leaders and the common people. In this way, develop this particular identity, common identity of the people. Now, we know that this revolution, French Revolution, and its idea of the nation first is spread all over the world. So, in order to understand the nationalism in Europe, we have to understand French Revolution first. Now, the French Revolution, the first clear expression of nationalism came with the French Revolution in 1789. France was a full-fledged territorial state in 1789 under the rule of an absolute monarch. The political and constitutional changes that came into the wake of the French Revolution led to the transfer of sovereignty from the monarchical system to a body of French citizens. The revolution proclaimed that it was the people who would henceforth constitute the nation and shape its destiny. So, this idea slowly affected the other part. Now, see this particular French Revolution, those were the revolutionaries, what type of measures and the practices they introduced in order to bring this revolution. Let's see the various measures and the practices introduced by the French revolutionaries. They introduced the ideas of the La Patria, that means the fatherland, the land, the fatherland, and La Citoyen means the citizen. The people, those are living, they are citizens of this country. They emphasize the notion of a united community enjoying equal rights under a constitution, and a new French flag was chosen to replace the former royal standard, and the Estate General was elected by the body of active citizens and renamed the National Assembly. New hymns were composed, a uniform laws formulated for all citizens, internal custom duties and dues were abolished, a uniform system of weight and measures was adopted, and French became the common language of the nation. These were the steps and the measures taken by the revolutionaries of France in order to bring the revolution in France, and they got success. Now, when they got success in Europe, first time in 1789, then it started spreading other part of the European countries. Now, the next point is impact of French Revolution. What were the effect or the result of this French Revolution? Let's see. Now, the news of the events in French Revolution reached the different cities of Europe. Students and other members of the educated middle classes began setting up Jacobin clubs, and their activities and their campaigns prepared the way for French armies to move into the different parts of Europe in the 1790s, which helped to outbreak of the revolutionary ideas, and they carry the feelings of nationalism in other part of the Europe. Now see, this is the impact of French Revolution. After that, when this democratic form came, again Napoleon emerged as a monarchical power. See, the Napoleon and his administration, the next paragraph in your book is discussing about the Napoleon. So we have to discuss about Napoleon and his administration. See, though Napoleon brought back the monarchy and destroyed the democracy in France, but in the administrative field, he had introduced and he incorporated revolutionary principles. The Civil Code 1804, usually known as the Napoleonic Code, did away with all the privileges based on what? established equality before the law, and secured the right to property. Napoleon simplified administrative divisions, abolished feudal system, and freed peasants from serfdom and manorial dues. Guilds restrictions were removed in the towns, and transport and communication system were improved. But the initial enthusiasm soon turned to hostility, especially in the areas conquered. Today's lecture up to this much. This is the first part. And now, from this first part, what type of important question may come? Now see, the first question from these paragraphs may come, define a nation state. First question. Second question, what did the French revolutionaries aim for? Third question, what were the measures adopted by the French revolutionaries to establish democracy? Fourth question, what were the impacts of French Revolution? Fifth question, what is Napoleonic Code? And sixth question, how did Napoleon bring revolutionary change in administrative field? Thanking you for watching the first video. Please subscribe, like, and share my channel. We'll meet you in the upcoming second part of this chapter. Thank you very much.